себя героем этой игры с похмельем и со всей фигней. Даже вырубился. Ох.
A simple little cadence. He seems to be making it up as he goes.
From another planet. Hey there. It's the jam, my man.
The air from the east is thick with the smell of crude oils, heavy metals and other byproducts of the modern era. You could almost taste it.
It's a traffic jam for the ages. Harbor gates up the street are shut tight. No explanation given. Workers on strike, scabs agitating, an all-around clusterfuck. Meanwhile, we're all stuck here in long-haul limbo for days upon days upon days. Upon days. Feels like forever. Like I was born on this here roundabout and this was all I ever knew. Just me and the metal and the tires, the oil and the fumes of mazout. Yeah, imagine. It's been a whole week already. So tell me, what do you need? It's like, whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands, no way in or out.
Going on strike would probably help you dodge a bullet or two.
Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? I forget what exactly. Good on them, I guess. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town too. Like a strike negotiator type. They'd know what's up. Precise demands and so on.
Ah, yes, from the Wild Pines. We'll meet her soon enough, I'm sure.
They want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching.
He doesn't blame them, but he's not on their side. That's for sure.
Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. I have things to do and places to be. All of us do. Us lorry drivers. Camionneurs. You still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not that I blame them, really. Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
He tries his best to look nonchalant, but there's a rigidity in him, as if trying to conceal something warm and deep beneath a cool exterior.
Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms, stuff like that.
Relax. He's merely joking.
Ha! No, I'm joking, my man. Found runs a nice, clean business. This haul of cargo is mostly sporting goods. You know, tracksuits and that kind of thing. They usually get shipped to Grad and the Occident. Though we've been making headway in the Il-Moran market lately. This rockin' beauty. Sure is. Like a rash you can't get rid of. You interested in heavy-duty cargo machinery?
В смысле? Смысл вышел по дороге?
Она этот сам, я ее на двоих расписать хотел.
Идиот.
В смысле идиот?
Куда ты хотел кого расписать?
Она, блядь, приехала до совы, говорит, нет, я пойду домой. Я говорю, ты что, гонишь, что ли?
Понятно. Тебя вот можно и там смотреть, если хочешь.
Можно мне зарядку?
Можешь.
Да, потому что у меня, блядь... Ой.
Пиздец.
A motor lorry, also called a
Можно,
camion,
наливай.
on Caillou and neighboring islands. This one looks roughed
Да.
up enough to be some sort of found rust bucket. Maybe the A6?
Good eye, my man. Yup, she's an old one, but reliable. Me and her spent a long time together.
Так это чё?
We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. The bosses won't be happy.
Смотреть, что кто комментарий пишет.
А кто, тебе комментарии еще пишет?
Раньше писали.
Так давай я сейчас развернусь и пройду все. Сразу. Только что здесь сделать надо? Так надо с этим попиздеть, да?
Угу.
И все, и на этом закончилась вся игра.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm.
He ain't one of us drivers. I know that.
Играешь, чё там?
All accounted for. Otherwise, I haven't really asked about that. Been wasting time right here. Keep him busy.
Читай.
Читать. Что, с ума сошел, что ли? Читать.
Так, ну, блядь, а как я здесь тут? Что вот? Что-нибудь я вижу, и все.
Ну. Тут читать просто да хуя нужно. Ну, блядь, ладно. О, не из водителей, я точно знаю. Шофера все на месте. А так я особо не заинтересовался. Я торчу тут, теряю время и веду бурную деятельность.
It's easy to see he's telling the truth. He's kept his nose out of the dark stuff.
Нахуй с ним дальше. Ответы.
Не ответ, вопрос.
Два вопроса давай. Какие?
Ладно, тогда проехали.
Нет. Первый.
Да и так я знаю, что он делает.
The
Торчит в
man
пробке.
taps his fingers rhythmically.
Don't be a stranger.
А ты можешь здесь хуярить?
Не можешь.
А, чё за игра-то такая лохавская?
Называется интеллектуально, а не про тебя явно. Да, то чувство, когда сидел бы дома.
Не знаю, ехать надо домой.
Да.
Там интереснее.
There are clothes inside. Cheap second-hand clothes, smelling of strangers' body odors.
Да.
Ты просто и меня слышишь?
Да.
Блядь, пиздец.
Я тебе говорю, блядь, сиди дома. Нет, нахуй. Ну,
Don't be shy.
Сиди
These are
дома.
premium class
чё это
clothes.
такое, чё не
Good
понял?
quality fabrics, best
Пишет,
retro
пишет,
design.
видишь?
Save the economy
Тимофей
with your
написал комментарий.
style, officer.
можешь передавать привет Тимофею.
О, Тимоха, здорово. А он пишет? Или он сказал, пошел ты нахуй, я пошел спать.
Нет, это вряд ли.
Так, в смысле, он сейчас это смотрит.
Ну да.
Да пиздешь это все. Пока я не увижу, что там Сергей Сергеевич, блядь, пиздец, здравствуйте.
Нахуй ты, блядь, нужен вообще? Я,
Ну
честно
вот,
говоря, не знаю.
хотя бы наподобие чего-то там, а тут, блядь, пишет, блядь. Хуйня полная. Блядь. Я пошел кофе наливать.
Иди.
А пока я хожу кофе наливать, если он не напишет, потом ему может напишет.
Пишет. Удачи тебе.
Так а чё, блядь, он, сука, сбежал со страны, негодяй.
Хуйню не неси.
Так я факт говорю. Как я с ним пересекусь? Я могу в Питер съездить, а тут... Чё он написал?
Сергей Гейгеевич, спокойней будь.
Да все нормально, Тимур. Когда на родину?
Глупые вопросы задаешь.
В смысле?
Ну,
Блядь,
они,
может-
они очевидны, блядь, как жизнь.
Так в смысле, когда?
Когда? Когда, блядь, хуйня закончится?
Какая? Уже все закончилось.
Спецоперация? Все? Войска
Да.
выведены?
Да, там уже война идет.
Тут, блядь, тем более, нахуй. Одевайся в своем стиле, начальник. Кстати, да, Тимофей, тебе на ютубе-то видно хоть текст? Или там, как у меня на телевизоре, тоже нихуя не размыто? Он говорит, когда Джонни пройдет Elysium.
Save the economy? That sounds off.
Haven't you heard, officer? We've got to be economically conscious. Recycle your cash, keep it in circulation. Don't buy new things. Buy eco.
Нет. Вчера был. Ничего, спасибо, не надо такого.
Very cool. The economy thanks you, officer.
You find your hands deep in tattered and faded garments made from weird polyester blends that make your body itch and sweat in all the wrong places. The box smells like cat piss or like an old person with no money.
Economical, but also trendy. Look first hand, buy second hand. Keep the economy moving.
Something cold grazes your hand. Synthetic and sleek. A windbreaker. Surf, it says, but also wind, summer, 100% waterproof.
Good choice, officer. Mega sporty. And it's only $4.50 for you, sir.
Да нет, 4,50.
You see a Samarran street vendor surrounded by a motley assemblage of goods. When he realizes you're looking, the name Sileng is embroidered over his breast pocket.
Happy shopping, officer. Everything's cool here.
Блин, нифига не проходил.
Everything's cool. The goods are
Что
cool,
именно?
the customers are cool, the place is cool. And one more thing, officer.
Ты, говорит, охуел, ты покурить пошел.
Но, блядь. Дурачок. Что взять?
You're very cool. Bang, 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 bang.
Где я?
You feel a twitch in your index fingers. There's a finger shootout
Чё
abroad.
как? Поздравил, нормально?
Да, нормально.
Оклемался?
Нет.
Почему?
Потому.
Пьяный пану.
Но, говорит алкаш, который тут сидит. Вышел покурить называется.
Не пизди.
Я твои слова пересказываю.
Я не хуй, ничего не поделал. Там красный.
What? No finger pistols,
Ну и
officer?
хули. И что теперь? У меня жить будешь?
Да.
Нахуй ты не нужен, иди, блядь, на улицу
у
живи.
тебя всегда серый день календаря.
И-
Коричневый.
Иди живи на улицу, как говорится.
Пошел ты.
Да, дурачок. Очухалась Аня.
Аня. Что за Аня?
Жена брата.
А. Что тебе хочешь?
Спасибо сказать.
За что? За картинку в интернете?
Нет. За подарок.
The lieutenant nods approvingly.
You're right, officer. 100%. No playing around then. Strictly business. Maybe I can interest you in some premium menswear instead. Only the coolest goods in Revachol. I've got sneakers, speakers, extremely comfy pants too. Try them on right here. No shame, only freedom.
Подсказывай.
Чё?
Тимофей не подсказывает, как играть?
Блять, хули тут подсказывать, как играть? Тут не подскажешь, как играть. Тут каждый раз в зависимости от того, что ты делаешь, меняется все. Ну как, большая часть.
Пиздёж. Это не там, как этот самый.
Не там, как этот самый. Ну, может быть.
Ну, блин, где мы играли
Там тоже не все.
Там, блин, очень много.
I'm an entrepreneur, officer.
Все одинаково.
I've got sources, buyers, suppliers, distributors, manufacturers, wholesalers, all extremely cool and above board. Good joke, officer. Here we don't have permits, just economic freedom. Take a
You glance around the decrepit buildings, the miserable
Sure.
weather, the sidewalks strewn with sunflower seeds and a dust-choked air.
Не знаю, может быть.
It's beautiful.
Гомосек.
Beautiful freedom.
Нет, вот ты.
That's right. Revachol is the best place for an independent self-employer like myself. That's why it's so cool with all the models coming here. No need for discounts at ceilings, officer. Everything's already on sale.
But did he first mark them up 100%, just so that he could put them on sale?
Завали Игоря.
Нельзя. Чем, блядь, пальцем? У меня ничего нет. Этот хер, блядь, как ты, блядь, проснулся нахуй, будучи пьяным, разнес свою хату, блядь, нихуя не помнит.
И чё?
От слова совсем, даже собственного имени. И вот, блядь, оказывается, что вот этот, блядь, охуенный красавчик, блядь,
Как
мент,
вот
блядь.
это?
Вот этот, блядь, Сережа, себя не узнаешь в зеркале,
В
что ли?
шляпе?
Да.
Да шляпа в шляпе.
И, блядь, мне нужно дело расследовать.
Шлак игра.
Yes, it's a business.
Да, такой же, как, блядь, компаньон,
Let him
который
keep
по-русски
it.
не понимает, блядь. Шлак.
Футболка, заебись.
Да, а хули ты хотел?
Охуенчик.
А хули ты хотел?
Anything for you.
Блядь, 42% шансы.
You mean these delicious pre-packaged shelf-stable meal kits? Really easy to cook, no hassle, really cheap too.
No hassle. There's a little of a hassle here, it appears. A moral
Знаете, я факт
hassle.
скажу. Клацаешь 1-1-1-1 везде, и ты всегда побеждаешь.
Зачем? Так же неинтересно.
Ну так это игра такая, блядь.
Нет. Ты книжки читаешь? А,
Да.
ну да, о чем это я?
Кстати, этот самый. Копи Люцифера почитай, блядь, прикольная книжка.
Ну вот. Ты же, блин, не читаешь первую строчку и потом перелистываешь.
Ну, там все предсказуемо. Ну, блядь, уже додумываешь.
А здесь нет.
На любую книжку ты додумываешь. Осколки судьбы тоже книга.
No problem here, officer. I get all this from one of my suppliers. An extreme. Oh, he's a good guy. I think you'd get along. I'll let you know the next time he's around.
Interesting.
В своей жизни блин, столько бабла, типа, книги. Именно рукописные. Хотел уже
Рукописные?
Ну, блядь, печатные, хуй с ним. Не нетовские, а печатные. В переплете, все как положено. Хотел
Me?
жене показать.
It's a boring story, officer.
Гений.
Who cares about the past?
This man probably comes from Seaguy, sometimes known as the Apricot Suzerainty, an archipelago
Там
in the
уже
Samara
попало, а
Isola.
тут появилось.
Вот так.
Apricot Suzerainty calls to mind an era when the Seaguy archipelago was colonized by Revachol. It's a bit of a slur, in other words.
То есть не
Very cool. I admire your awareness of our intertwined histories. It's super nice of you to apologize for colonialism, but the apricot suzerainty is a shithole. That's why I left.
Родство, читание, да?
Да.
Я хотел сюда на них привезти, ее здесь оставить и уехать.
Охуенный план. Нахуй она мне здесь нужна.
Чтоб ты хотел кого-то потыкать.
Блять, мне... Надо будет, найду в кого потыкать. Молись, чтобы этим кем-то здесь не стал ты, блядь.
That's so cool, officer. Speaking of,
Honestly,
why not support an independent local entrepreneur by buying some pens and glasses?
Start with a little compliment, then work your way up from there. This is about business, remember.
Oh, okay. But why, officer? An investment? What kind of investment?
понимаешь, что пиздов дома получу. Ну и что?
А?
Если пиздов дома получу.
Конечно.
Я Олеська позвонил, но я только сейчас догоняю. Говорит, какого хуя ты поехал в Женю? Я говорю, да край не дала, я поехал в Женю.
Охуенный план. Лучше в своем роде.
Так вот, он говорит, тебе пизда, плитку положил. А за что?
Мозгов нету, потому что.
Да ни одной, ни второй я не присуну.
И что теперь?
И чё?
Мозгов-то все равно нету. За это пизды получишь.
За что?
За то, что мозгов нет.
Пускай письку не ходит.
Сам полежи себе письку, блядь.
И там не воняет ничего.
Мне вообще насрать.
Помыт.
Мне вообще похуй.
Я тебя не ебал, на не.
Ёба живы и здоровы, блядь.
Да.
Поэтому нахуй, блядь.
I hear you, officer.
Кстати, запустил...
What kind of a sum are we talking about here?
У меня сейчас около 40 рыбок в аквариуме плавает.
Да,
Да,
нахера
да.
только.
Ну, в августе ты их будешь кормить.
What? Only a fiver? You can't even buy a pack of Royal Extras with that. Let's make this one stick, my friend.
Мы отдыхаем, значит...
Sounds like a fair deal all around.
Короче, с 2 августа
Corruption.
по 23 где-то.
It's just like bus or seagull. A kid watching out of a window describing things going by. He doesn't like it too much, but what do you do?
Че ты там пиздишь?
А, минус рыбка, минус деньги.
Че, минус рыбка, минус деньги. Делать ничего.
Это как
Нет, не будет.
август.
Вряд ли, вряд ли, вряд ли.
Ты с нами не поедешь, значит, блин,
Я, меня не вообще. Говорят, с помощником это наше все, блядь. Заебись. Нахуя, что дают? Электрохимия +1.
Так это диэлектрические перчатки.
Там другие перчатки.
Пошла.
A couple of indicator lights are missing from this control panel. Loose wires dangle from the now vacant holes. In the middle is a lever. Beneath it, a small metal plaque.
Чё сколько?
Не знаю.
22.
45.
This panel usually closes the water lock, turning it into a bridge that lets you cross the canal. But there's a crashed salmon and butter sign in the way. Pulling the lever probably won't do anything. You pull the lever all the way up until the metal clicks against the contact pins. Nothing happens.
А у тебя здесь пауза имеется?
Какая нахуй пауза?
Покурить сходить.
Ну пошли покурим.
Пойдем.
Паузы-то нет.
Да, у тебя...
Ютуб-то дальше пищет.
Да похуй, у тебя времени нет.
Время ей-бу, что ли, может быть, и есть.
Представляешь, мужчина. Ты как поставишь на паузу.
Да, охуенный план, блядь. Йоу, я вернулся. Свезли алкоголик обратно.
A spring brings the lever back to its original position. You still need to close the waterlock to get across the canal. Some other way. Wasn't there a sign over there saying functionality will be restored on Wednesday morning?
G'day to you, officers.
A burly man hangs out by the waterlock, carving up a generous serving of salami with an old hunter's knife. His eyes are fixed on a man stranded on the other side of the waterlock and on an enormous billboard that has fallen down into the canal between them.
I wasn't here to witness it, but those look like tire tracks on that sign. Weird, huh? Then again, plenty of daredevil drivers, and too bad it also takes a year and a day to repair anything around here. Especially a waterlock. The rest of the coast is closed off till then. It's supposed to operate the waterlock, but as noted, it's all junk right now. Disabled because of the blockage. Safety measure. Turns out the panel needs a special key to be reactivated. Wouldn't want anyone moving the waterlock with debris still in the channel. It'll be restarted on Wednesday morning. You want to do the honors when the time comes? Suit yourself. Just drop by on Wednesday if you want to see the waterlock work again.
The coast part of the map is inaccessible until the third day.
Well, there's the fishing village, an abandoned fish market, a bizarro church. Not much use to the congregation, though. There always seems to be something wrong. Yeah, not really much else. Just bombed out ruins.
Это лампард. Окей.
You see rows of toy soldiers guarding the rest of the trinkets displayed on the table. Some on horseback, others in rags, others yet in bright blue uniforms. All are stern and unyielding in their duty. Why? What's this? A headless man riding a horse? A headless man wearing futuristic tracksuit trousers that say found.
Oh, that's the headless phone rider. The headless phone rider. It's an urban legend about a man who rides the streets of Revachol sporting a fawn tracksuit. 50 cents. Bargain price. I'll throw in the tiny cap too. I think he's looking for it, or something.
He lost his cap when he lost his head. Perhaps he's looking for the head.
Нахуя? Нахуя нам не нужно, называется. Перепродаванием заниматься. Не вижу смысла покупать.
Big men on big horses, clad in lamella armor and carrying flintlocks, the kind that would mow down a line of enemy soldiers in a blink.
Franco-Nigerian knights. I used to be very serious about these guys.
They're not all blue. These figurines also wear gold coats and caps, complemented by orange trousers. They are variously posed, wielding swords.
Which ones? Ah, royalist soldiers from the time of the revolution. The uniforms are painted a bit too brightly, I suppose.
This set of soldiers isn't meant to look impressive. A few have rifles, but most of them carry pistols. Some even shovels and tools.
You're probably talking about the revolutionaries, yes? Yes, they are soldiers. I think their poverty has been exaggerated for effect. When you place them next to the royalists, it doesn't seem like they could possibly win. Maybe.
The boomboxes on the shelf look well-loved and well-traveled. Chipped, dented, they stare at you with the unblinking eyes of their tape reel. One especially catches your eye. Deep gold and amber plastic with a big old handle on top. A classic boombox that's just make sure it works before you buy it.
Is the Harman Welsh W2, made in Vespa, designed in Seoul, plays all reel-to-reel formats, 2mm, 8mm, 12mm. It's even got a little radio in there. It'll set you back 12 real. If police work means playing tapes, sure. You can use it for that, or any other time you'd need to play a tape.
Пустая катушка. У меня дома проигрыватель там стоит.
It's not often that I see officers from the RCM in my pawn shop. What can I do for you?
His courtesy is not insincere, but he prefers being alone with his projector, just watching the movement of light across the walls of the shop.
I haven't had any problems myself, though some of my customers have complained about inconsistent law.
Who are your customers usually?
All kinds of people come through here. Locals, travellers, people looking for a deal, people looking for a keepsake, people who are terminally bored.
Пиздец, а у тебя тут не ебически весело. Учитывая, что ты, блядь, просто на проектор смотришь.
As you can see, I have a wide selection of goods for everyone to choose from.
вещи пошли.
It keeps me entertained.
Да, чувак.
He's well composed, but underneath it you sense psychedelic processes bubbling. Some kind of drug. Entertained? He might be high. If he is, on what? Okay, he definitely is high. Whatever it is, you've probably done it, and many other things besides. But you can't cut through the jumble of sensations to get to the answer. Looking at his wares, talking to him, that might give you more clues.
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
Ёбаный в рот. Ах.
This is a pawn shop, and it did feel as if you've met before. Oh God. The lieutenant shifts from one foot to another, alert.
She didn't seem like a policeman, although she kept referring to herself as a pig, which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive, but I was just happy to get rid of it, and of her.
Мусоркой?
Truth be told, she was terrified.
Right, so let me get this right. You sold your sidearm, issued by the citizens' militia, and now a civilian is running around the streets of Martinez with it? You're right that she could cast aspersions on the force. We have to find her.
My apologies, officer, but I have no idea where she was coming.
A needle in a haystack. There is nothing you can do about it now. You'll just have to hope you luck upon her somehow.
Чудно.
Of course. Sure thing. You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia. And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions. The unhealthy kind. Sure, man. I doubt it, but I can try and answer any questions you may have. I do my best to keep my distance from all manner of butchery. Bad for business.
He doesn't know anything. The pawnbroker's gaze is already fixed on the dancing colors.
Let me have a look. Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Да, не густо.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
А купить что, ничего нельзя?
Another time, perhaps.
Чудно. Это заебательски. Загнал. Ну хоть, блядь, не проебал. Хотя как, блядь, лучше бы проебал. Загнал в ломбарде пистолет. Какой ты ёбаный пиздец. Попасть.
Life doesn't need to be a struggle. I'll be with you in a moment, officer. Let me just finish my sandwich. Talk to Angry Old René first.
Have you no shame? Whining about your back every time you bring out the measuring tape.
René, you're a man with a fork in a world of soup. Please, let's just try to enjoy the game, alright?
I'm trying to, but you keep breaking my concentration. You're old. I can see that. We're both old. Now stop grabbing your ass like it's a girl.
These manly men are playing balls. This is a ball game. Grab a ball and play it. Don't ask questions. Shoot first. Ask questions never. No, you got this. There's the ball.
В смысле,
You're
блядь?
the game.
Нахуя? Нахуя, блядь, лезть?
See? Your munching and complaining have ruined my concentration.
Could the objective of the game be to throw the metal ball so it lands by the wooden ball?
Ah, mon Dieu. The pain in my back is unbearable. I can't even say if it's in my back.
I hope you pass out from it. You goddamn jellyfish. Men like you are the reason this nation is sinking.
Trying to throw something as close to a predetermined point as possible. Measuring. Shush. Ignore them. They don't know what they're doing. They're old. You are letting down yourself and the team. Get in the damn game already.
Нахуй надо?
Does it matter what team? Pick a team. Any team. The blue team. You're letting them down. Get in the game and throw the gut. Eyes on the ball, Dinky Winky.
А,
Sure, officer. I am René Arnaud. And my specially abled partner here is Gaston Martin.
альтернативно одаренный.
How can we help you? Unfortunately, I don't. Unlike most of the locals, I have no qualms about assisting law enforcement. But this affair has passed me by completely. In Martinez, the union is the law. So can you really blame them? Cop is a pejorative term. I don't have a problem with policemen. On the contrary, I admire...
He doesn't know about the crime. Your time is better spent discussing politics.
I'm confident they are indispensable in regard to all the paperwork and other administrative duties. I know the kind. Gaston here is the same. A weather vane.
Oh, René. If you only knew life beyond confrontations, conflict, and extremities.
Yes. The terrain here provides an interesting variety to a familiar game. I do. Fire from heavy artillery. Why what? Because that's what happens when communards hijack your country, execute your supreme leadership, and turn your capital into a slaughterhouse. You use heavy ordnance to clean up your home. Commies, communists, socialists, anarchists, call them what you like. They just chose the name to feel special. Senseless sentimentality. Sadly, no. It was the foreigners who brought them to their knees. We fought valiantly. Too valiantly. So valiantly we should have fought dirty, like they did with their suicide sex cult propaganda. And mad women strapped to shrapnel bombs. We didn't though, and we lacked caliber. God bless him, but the suzerain's cannon...
It was probably a bit more complicated than that.
Because this place is a damn beachhead. Had to soften the commies up first. Yes, the military coordinated amphibious landing to take back Revachol. Martinez was used as one of the 3 footholds in Revachol during Operation Deathblow in 08. The other 2 are off in Stella Maris and the Delta. This here is Blood Ground, where Coalition boots first made landfall and cleaned those rabid dogs out. Most likely, we're playing pétanque on their mangled corpses.
Blood ground. You got old René going there. Like he isn't hungry enough already.
Don't get me wrong, officer. I hate those foreign dogs, but the enemy of my enemy and all that. They're the lesser evil. Damn right, son. They lit the fire of hell on the city before they stormed it. And it worked, too. The rest of the city got cleaned up, but Martinez they keep as a monument. And now the Union Socialists are practically running the place.
Well, it's your own damn fault. You, we, the Coalition, Revachol, whoever you want to blame, never finished the job. Officially, the party
You don't even begin to truly understand the players at the table, let alone the specific circumstances surrounding the... What do you think?
Thinking men have opinions on these things. Present one.
I'm just so damn sorry it had to be the Coalition. After 8 years of fighting those hyenas, spoiling cats for food and drinking piss in the mountains. I would have preferred if the Right Honorable King Guillaume returned through Revachol, or even if that damn clan Frisell. Instead, all that is just, holy, and beautiful in the world was wiped away, and now it's neon signs with toothpaste ads everywhere.
Я в ахуе.
For this is just what the commies wanted. This was their plan all along. This is what they wanted to replace the role of the suzerain with. The suzerain is the king. Has everyone forgotten already? It's no use talking to you. You were still in Daddy's balls when it happened. When we took our last stand against the Filth and rode the cavalry straight into gunfire.
Грубая сила, блядь, не помыкает мной. Но пытается. Понятно, тут. А, тут я буду.
This coin-operated viewer is facing southwest. Its coin slot is full of fossilized bubblegum, rendering the machine permanently inaccessible. A thick layer of graffito covers the lenses. You spell out the word Onuk written on the other side, with N and C scribbled backwards. That's Kuno on the lens. Under the graffito, a sea of blues and greys appear. Behind the water lies a coast studded with concrete and reeds. On it, a church on stilts, lanky weather-worn wooden planks. You know this to be the star of Pericarnassus, or the Cairo, the central symbol of the Pericarnassian church, a star. Around the large wooden building you see chunks of sea ice gathered on the beach, and a small tent set up on the ice.
Probably some kids.
A simple but clever solution to ruining a coin-operated viewer. It took ingenuity. The metal feels cold and wet under your palm. It looks unhygienic. This coin-operated viewer is facing south. The instruction manual says to insert 25 centimes and pull the handle while looking inside. Why place a tourist attraction in the middle of such poverty?
There was a revitalization project in 49. A design studio tried restoring Martinez to its pre-war glory. It didn't stick. They got as far as the street lamps and the statue on that intersection. Then something went sour. I suspect that something was Eva Claire, the union leader. He muscled them out. It's how it usually goes around here.
The lieutenant adjusts his collar. It's frisky outside.
trying to sneak up on me? Come to slit my throat in my sleep?
Apparently, she doesn't like people standing behind her back. Logic error. She is not sleeping right now.
Pig's come to take me out, trying to snuff me out. Fucking clever with me, pig. You think you're so clever.
Охуенно, блядь. Бомжовская шапка. Опаньки. Типондри, блядь.
It's been a week and now they show up?
There must be another way into the building.
I can't get involved in this.
Камеру шевелить нельзя, походу. А, это стена, ебать.
This is a wall on the side of an apartment building.
Понятно. Нихуя непонятно.
Hey, up here, piggo.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM. Peyton, my maiden name. I'm glad to see you here.
Like steel, there is strength there. If she wanted, she could sink her nails deep into your skin.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will, gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his
It happens quicker than a shooting star. But did the lieutenant just wink at you?
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines Group. Why, yes I am. The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is. My sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around? Yes, we are. We are on Le Caille.
Technically, the neighboring Ozone and Fas Alamer island groups are archipelagos, while La Caillou, by contrast, is a single fertile landmass. The fort. She nods attentively.
Good. What we do? I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
There was a touch of discomfort there. She wants to merely represent.
The Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. And that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
The Wild Pines Group is one of the original Revacholian Indo-tribes. Companies awarded royal monopolies by the king, the suzerain himself, centuries ago. The king is long gone, but several of the Indo-tribes remain. Saint-Baptiste, Elysium, an unknown entity known as Brightest Star. She nods.
Everything. Right up to, but not including, trade secrets. I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice, I'm a grocery clerk. I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counter.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful...
Wait, she just admitted that the lynching and the strike are connected.
Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter 20 racist behemoth blocking the gates. What can I say? The union employs a giant covered in tattoos. A racist giant. I guess that's part of their big tent organization now. Yes, I believe there is a connection, but that's a subject for later. Let's say I was not making the kind of progress I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the...
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike?
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demand...
Ludicrous even. It's meant.
Mr. Clare told him to... How did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see. Yes. Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union. There are leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Every worker, a member of the board.
Most of the workers probably don't know what that means. She nods.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first. Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
If you were to prick it with something sharp, you could see it oozing out. A knife, maybe? No. A rapier.
Oh heavens no. We get along just fine.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yet now that you mention it, I can't stop imagining that black treacle just dribbling down his
Где?
double chin.
Ну, пиздец. А, вот.
He is the most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother, Edgar. Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, And when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues. The Débardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must not have been easy to establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
A mob. The Débardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard. And your opinion, Detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Débardeurs Union is... Indeed, and a hungry one. Sadly, Wild Pines have cooperated with what amounts to a crime syndicate for 2 decades. However much you feed the leech always hungers. I'm glad you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore, or coming to work.
This forewoman, her name?
Sadly, the company records do not even give a name. She's just forewoman in private correspondence, Holly. I don't even know if it's a sir or given name, and I don't have access to the Union's files. Downright haunting, if you ask me. The Wild Pines suspected foul play. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Of course. How else can I help? Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Блять.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi from Precinct 57, and this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, Detective? I see. So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode? I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please. Oh dear. Some kind of encephalopathic amnesia. I do believe you, naive as that may sound. I simply can't imagine what you gain by faking.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the...
Of course, I sympathize. But I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
Of course. But before, the situation is extremely volatile. The sooner we can speak about this lynching business, the better for all of us. Of course, Detective.
Чудно. Прелестно. Замечательно. Непонятно. Ну как, понятно, но непонятно. Так. Лезть в этот дом — это полный пиздос. Я подозреваю. Там... Так, курит. Так. Ох, нихуя. Прошу прощения за мат. Вынужден на этом пока закончить. Потому что завтра с утра вставать опять на работу. Вот такой, как говорится, сумбурчик в голове. В игре не знаю, как это можно смотреть. Скучно, наверное, смотреть. Но играть на самом деле как книжку читать.